Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker, Honourable Members. The National Freedom Party will not support this. The National Freedom Party fully supports the recommendation of the Portfolio Committee on Trade and Industry tabled here today. In light of the conclusion of the Department's policy on gambling, which states clearly that no new forms of gambling is to be allowed, proceeding with the remote gambling bill will be ultra-vires outside of the law. Even if the gambling policy did favour allowing new forms of gambling, the National Freedom Party will still have opposed the remote gambling bill. We believe that gambling is a social evil that causes untold misery for the poorest of the poor. You won't understand that because you live off the poorest of the poor. You suck the blood out of the poorest of the poor. So you won't understand that. You take the blood out of the bone of the poorest of the poor. You've been exposed for these things. The harm done by gambling, in our opinion, far outweighs any possible benefits of employment and revenue accrued to the state. Gambling is causing children to go to sleep hungry every night in South Africa. And people's careers are destroyed daily as they succumb to addiction, squandering all their money and often resorting to so-called white-collar crime to fuel their addiction and try to cover their losses. The argument that online gambling on the internet is going to take place anyway, therefore we might as well try and regulate it, is in our view insufficient motivation and justification for the green light to support this. The National Freedom Party cannot and will not agree to any proposal that will allow social ills to become acceptable and regulated in cyberspace simply for the economic benefits which might be associated with it. The National Freedom Party will not support any bill that will destroy our people, especially the poorest of the poor. We will not support the opportunist, the imperialist policies of profit-making at the expense of our people, who will even drink the blood of the poorest of the poor. It is quite evident in the Western Cape in any way. The National Freedom Party will reject this remote gambling bill with the contempt it deserves.
Chair, please take a seat. Yes, Honourable James, what are you raising on?
Will this honourable example of wasteful and fruitless expenditure take a question?
Honourable Member.
I won't take a question. Honourable Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Imam. I was going to say that the new name that the Honourable James was giving you is not appropriate, but proceed. Proceed.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, I'm not surprised because the DA operates on the principle of divide and rule. And that is why some of these opportunists who are supposed to be protecting the poorest of the poor and the black that have been oppressed for 300 years will support the democratic alliance and be there just for meaningful financial gain. That is all they get from them. I thank you.
Thank you.